Hello and welcome to my Knack playthrough series. This game was free on the PS Network a couple of months ago, and I kind of downloaded it mostly because it's free, and I'm just grabbing all the free stuff that I can because that's kind of a sensible idea. And I thought I'd give it a playthrough and make some videos about it, just kind of as an experiment to see if I enjoy doing this kind of playthrough format. Because I've been making some Fortnite videos that you might have noticed, and that's been kind of fun, and I thought maybe other videos will be fun too. I've been gaming for about 30 years, and I thoroughly enjoy computer games and always have for as long as I can remember, pretty much. But making the videos is just making the whole thing a little bit more interesting for me. So this is kind of experimental. If you don't like it, don't panic. If any tips for making it more interesting, maybe that would be helpful, you can drop them in a comment. So let's get into it. I'm just going to basically play through the game and chat away. Here we go. I did actually start this little series before, and I wasn't very happy with the way it was going, because the game's kind of divided into chapters, which I didn't realise. So I was just doing like playing for 15 minutes and recording it, and then I was like, oh wait, the chapters would be useful little breaks. Oh, sorry about that. I've got a little timer going there. I'm gonna restart, save over my old game. I wasn't all that far through. Oh, do I want to delete the save game? Yes, I do. I'm going to try and react as if it's the first time I've seen it. Oh look, it's some sort of prison. There's some... I think that's a goblin. I think they're calling them goblins, they're not orcs, but they look kind of orky. And the story is that they're having some kind of crazy war with the people. As you can kind of see, they're kind of shooting at each other. It's sort of obvious that they're not friendly. Oh, bombs. Well, these guys look identical. That's a bit weird. Easy to animate, I suppose, but they do look absolutely identical. Look at them all. Are they clones? Maybe they're clones. Maybe I haven't got to that bit in the game yet. Nice orky guys with hammers and stuff.
This record was taken just 2 days ago in the Highland Crags. It seems the goblins there have progressed from being a minor nuisance to somehow being able to take down a highly fortified outpost. Thank you all for coming on such short notice. And Doctor, thank you for hosting this gathering. How did these goblins progress in such a short time from bows and arrows to tanks and guns? Where are they based? And how can we remove the threat they pose? We must immediately mount an expedition to discover whatever we can. Do we have any volunteers?
The Crags, huh? That's deep in Goblin country. I can get you all in.
I think the voices are a bit cheesy.
I'm less sure I can get you all out again.
Victor.
Oh.
Victor Industries welcomes the opportunity to field test
he's
the
a bit
latest
shady.
model of our security robots.
Bit of a spoiler, but he's well
While
shady.
human strength is, of course, desirable, the expedition will need something far more powerful to take on those goblin weapons. The high-tech armaments of these robots should prove invaluable in accomplishing the mission.
Any other volunteers?
A couple of military kind of guys. Random
Well
kid.
then, it seems Ryder and Victor will be our expeditionary force. Yes, Doctor?
Before any final decision is made, I would like to show you all a little something I've been working on. Come!
Uncle!
Hey, how you been?
Good. The doctor keeps me busy, though.
Oh?
I gotta go set up. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Look at the size of that chin.
Begin.
Ooh. Oh, here we go. I'm about to actually play now. I think. Yeah.
Just go slow, little buddy. You'll be fine.
That's Knack. It's kind of obvious that that's Knack. So this is kind of tutorial. Forgotten the controls now.
What you see before you is my ultimate creation, Knack.
So I've got jump and punch, or jump and attack kind of a control. Which it didn't tell me. I wonder if that's because this is the second playthrough. There we go. What's that thing? Oh, I thought that was a thing. I suppose it's a round thing.
As you all know, the foundation of our society is these relics. The mysterious remnants of some unknown civilization that power our machines and make our way of life possible.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played this through, thinking having the foundation of your society as some sort of mysterious relics where you don't really know what they are or how they work doesn't seem like a very sensible way to have a society. You want to build your society on a foundation of things that you do understand and can sort of work out when they've gone wrong and all that kind of business. Oh, hello. I got smaller. I think I get smaller if I lose health, because I lose sort of... There you see, it grows a bit. Gets a few more relics added to it, and then grows. Or loses relics and shrinks. Press that round thing that releases relics. Watch this round thing before.
Then use them to power our cars, our planes, our generators. The discovery of this source of perpetual energy has changed our lives completely.
Yeah, I wonder if that round thing, where the relics came out, is the first one I found didn't do anything because I had full health, maybe. Oh no. I'll skip through the repeat bits. There were some of the levels that took me ages to kind of get past some sort of boss monster, that kind of stuff. So I think I'm gonna just spin through them quickly. Oh right. There we go. Forgot about that thing. Switching off the shields next. Getting bigger and bigger.
I have spent decades learning the secrets of the relics and how to bring them to consciousness. The result is Knack, a living, thinking, breathing creature.
Again, it's like we don't know what these things are or where they came from. We found them underground and we've made them conscious. It's that old school platform game kind of vibe. Oh. I suppose it is really, it's like a 3D platformer. Which wouldn't really be my... Oh, I'm dead. Wouldn't typically be the kind of game that I would choose. Like action 3D platform thing. Where, like, I like stories, and this does have a bit of story to it, but the main component of the game is the action. And I do like that.
Knack,
sometimes.
pick up those relics.
I've been picking up relics the whole time. Oh, he's going big.
As you can see, Knack is capable of explosive growth.
Marvelous. Yeah, so the like action platformers wouldn't usually be the types of games I would choose. So something like this, if it hadn't been free, I wouldn't have got it. But it is actually quite enjoyable. And especially as a kind of experimental, do I like making walkthrough series kind of games? It'll do as a first attempt. Oh, I'm getting all smashed about. Oh, come on.
Knack, shrink down and go through that duct.
I'm all small again. Yeah, I suppose you could call it a 3D. Let's call it a 3D platform action game. Oh, I don't know, but it's the kind of beat 'em up type components.
Knack can power up by absorbing the energy contained within sunstones.
Great. Oh yeah. I
Once energized, he can release the power of the sunstones explosively as a massive shockwave.
Oh yeah. Can I go now? Do I have to do the? No, I have to do the shockwave.
Knack, use the shockwave to take out those robots' shields.
Oh, got some more sunstones there.
As you can see,
Nice
the
of them to replace
shockwave
my
can
energy
destroy
after teaching me how to do
multiple
it.
targets at once.
Oh, now I can leave. Oh. That wasn't great. More energy. Yeah, when I was a kid, the categories of computer games were things like beat 'em up or shoot 'em up. And now there's like...
Knack, power up again.
In fact,
using
actually,
the
I remember at one
sunstones.
point there was more or less beat 'em up or shoot 'em up.
Knack can also use the power
And then
of the
the,
sunstones to transform himself
there were strategy
into a
games as well, I
storm of
suppose.
relics.
Oh right, forgotten about how to do this.
Now, Knack, show them what your storm attack can do to those enemies. As you have seen, Knack is able to use the energy contained within the sunstones to augment his already formidable powers.
So yeah, so there was beat 'em up, shoot 'em up strategy games, which were generally turn-based at that time. There was Dune 2 and Command and Conquer. I think was huge when I was a kid. I was like maybe 14, and before that, it was things like Laser Squad and what's it called? XCOM. Or I think it was XCOM Enemy Unknown. No, UFO Enemy Unknown, or XCOM UFO Defense, were the two different names for the same game. I love those games. It's more the strategic ones that I was kind of into, and the shoot 'em ups, because shooting games are always good. And the shoot 'em up was kind of... Oh wait. I guess before things like Doom and Wolfenstein 3D, like the original in the 90s. You get the kind of basically Space Invaders kind of things, but more elaborate. Where that would be a shoot 'em up kind of game. You get flight sims as well, the usual stuff. But now you've got
Most impressive,
FPS things like first-person shooters.
Knack, is that right?
Actually, I call myself Knack.
Ooh,
Impressive.
voice is a bit cheesy,
He seems a little
but
delicate.
that's okay.
When we go after the goblins, we'll face challenges far deadlier than those slow-moving buckets of bolts.
What exactly are you getting at, Victor?
Well, I brought a few of my security robots with me. If Knack can get by those, then I'll grant he has a place in the expedition.
Can do. Let's take this to the garden. There's a bit more room.
I do find the voices in this game to be actually a little bit cheesy.
You think Knack can do it?
We'll see now, won't we?
Or the men, at least. There we go. Yeah, so then there were platform games. Beat 'em up, shoot 'em up, platformer, that kind of thing. And then it all gets a bit confusing with like this I would try there we go. I would classify as a 3D platform beat 'em up type game, which is all a bit
Using
modelled.
the power of the Sunstones, Knack can also blast distant targets with a barrage of relics.
How? Can you tell me how? Oh right. Oh yeah, I remember that.
This blast attack is even capable of striking multiple targets at once.
They're really hyping him up. What's in there? Oh yeah! A thing. Okay. So I'm collecting these little bits and pieces to make something, a combo meter. Don't know what that is. There's a fly right on top of my head right now, and it's really irritating me. Oh, that's the wrong button. Proper pro gamer. Yeah, the genres get a bit muddled, I think, which I think that's kind of a good thing in a way, because it's a bit difficult to describe what a game is without a clear genres. Like it's a platform game. Used to be enough to know what a game basically was, but now it's like this isn't a platform game. And it's not a beat 'em up, but it's got a beat 'em up style, or the old school beat 'em up element to the combat. I'm getting smashed. And it's not. There's the RPG elements of like leveling up and things like that, and developing the character, like finding the components to build extra equipment. There's that kind of element to it, but it's not an RPG, and it's. You know, so it's got some nice elements from different genres, which make it interesting. Let's see what's down here. Am I going to get another cool item? I've got a harvester part. Oh, that lets me collect sunstones from defeated enemies so that I can recharge my little Yellowstone power thingies, I suppose. I'm getting distracted from what I'm doing. It's sort of part reviewing, part just making some sounds to pass the time. Something ominous is happening. Cutscene. Is that wood?
Next.
I've got to fight bigger dudes this time. Smack. Ooh. Oh, it's okay. I do quite like the really obvious wall to break thing that you get in games. And of course this game's it's really aimed at kids. I don't know if it has an age limit, but I'm guessing it's aimed at like 10, 11, 12 kind of age group. It's not really aimed at 37-year-old guys like me. So for me to find it a little bit cartoony and to spot glaring plot holes and things like that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good game. And the obvious breakable walls are not necessarily bad either. So this seems to be something that lets me hold more of the yellow sunstone energy. I'm sure that'll be very useful in the future. I wonder how far... I wonder if I'm actually past chapter 1 yet? I wonder why they're leaving big boxes of relics around the place. I suppose if their civilization's built on them as a foundational thing, then having them around is probably a handy thing. I've already got this, I wonder what's going to be in the box this time. Oh, it's open already. Can I still punch it? Nope. Back up we go. Yeah, it's a funny idea. I suppose it's it's a way of animating a character, I suppose, and then the I wonder if they wanted to animate the character in that way first, and then came up with a storyline to kind of justify it, which is totally legitimate. I think that's both of them are part of the game. I think the animation of the character with like all the little bits together forming a figure reminds me a lot of an old game that my friend Dan had on the Mega Drive, which he does actually still have, and it was called 3D Balls. Oh, here we go. Cutscene, sorry. Yeah, this game 3D Balls was a beat 'em up in the 90s kind of style. You know, the games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and these kinds of ones, where it's you got your two guys, they have a bit of a punch up, and that's the game. It was like that, but the characters were... It was kind of three-dimensional in a early sort of way, so rather than being like a two-dimensional thing like the first Street Fighter games.
You still think I'm too delicate?
It seems the doctor will be joining us after all.
But you want him to come, and you want him to bring Knack.
Oh, I don't know what she said.
What a wonderful demonstration, Doctor.
She's got an evil plan.
Knack must join us in our expedition.
Suddenly they've changed their minds. Very suspicious.
I wonder what Charlotte would have thought of Knack if she were still around.
Who's Charlotte?
Come on, Doc. Let's go.
It's his ex-wife or something. She dead? Maybe she's been kidnapped by the goblins and I'm going to get her back. Maybe not.
Hurry up, lad. We don't have all day.
Hey, Doc. Thanks for looking after my nephew. He's growing up so fast.
Frankly, Ryder, it was easier when he was younger. Now he wants to know how and why and debate everything. It's really quite trying at times.
It sounds like you need a break. Why don't you let me take him for a few days?
Oh, he's all yours.
Lucas! It's just you and me again.
Whose nephew was it?
Now, the tracks from those goblin tanks should still be visible.
Is he the blonde guy's nephew?
Keep a sharp lookout.
Maybe they're introducing the characters a little bit quickly for me.
Well, Knack, let the adventure begin.
I can't wait.
Does he get a squeaky voice when he's little? Because he kind of should.
Well, my dear, wish us luck.
Well, that must be Charlotte. Highland Crags, eh? Apparently we're in Scotland now.
Starboard side! I can see the tanks!
That's the old crag mine. It's huge in there. Tunnels go on for miles. No
Did
telling
they say
what the
starboard
goblins
in
are up to.
aeroplanes?
Let's land and take a closer look on foot.
I didn't think they said starboard in aeroplanes. I thought that was like a ship thing.
They've barricaded the entrance quite thoroughly. We'll need to find another way in.
Splitting up should make that faster. Perhaps north, east, and west through the forest.
What about
We'll
south?
take the forest. Come on, Knack.
Okay. What about all those tanks? Were they goblin tanks? Well, this seems to be the next chapter, so I'm going to cut the chapter 2 verse 1. Chapter 2 part 1. Yep, so I'm going to cut the feed now. Hopefully you can come back for the next section. I'll possibly see you soon if I like this. Cheerio.